Baldurs Gate 3 Patch 8 just released. So, hail and matches kings and queens, it's me, Spot the King, and today we're gonna explore one of the new subclasses coming in this game. There's 12 new subclasses, but today we will check one of my favorite classes, Sorcerer of course, and make a build, because there's nice new subclass, Shadowmagic. It comes with great features, as all sorcerers by the way. First one will give you ability to see in the dark up to 24 meters, that's nothing special. But strength of the grave is insane. If you reach 0 hit points, you regain 1 instead of becoming down. This can lead us to some weird race choices, like for example half orc. Yeah, we can go sorcerer half orc really easily. We will lose savage attacks, we won't do a lot of like melee attacks with this class. But relentless endurance is pretty fun. So we can be down like 2 times, and with a lot of other gear we can actually be down like 5 times in a battle. But that's not what we're going for today. Actually, as Shadowmagic Sorcerer, let's go for some Shadow Race. Draw will work like magic. If you wish to do the same build, but you don't want to play draw, you can play as any race. It's not like very important, but still we will have some nice advantages by picking draw. She looks gorgeous for Shadow Sorcerer, but let's go to the business finally. So, initial cantrips. You can instantly find a bunch of new ones. For example, Booming Blade. That's a really powerful one, but I recommend you picking this for some other classes like Hexblade for example. So for cantrips we will go with basic setup. It will be Firebolt as our range damaging spell. It will be Shocking Grasp in case enemies come into melee range. Minor Illusion for some utility stuff and fooling down enemies outside of the combat. And Bone Chill, so you get some ways to deal versus enemies who can heal a lot. For spells, Sorcerer got access to a lot of spells but can learn only 2. They will be always prepared though, but you need to pick carefully and pick the right choices. I know lots of people like shield, but it just eats your spell slot, and in my opinion the best way to play is to just use magic missile, because it gives you just 100% chance to hit with magic missile, and it's a big deal in early acts when you got limited spell slots and you don't want to waste the spell slots without even inflicting a damage. But still we will need some protection, because it's least protected subclass among all sorcerers. So instead of wasting spell slots once per turn for 5 armor class, we will use mage armor to have +2 armor class for whole day. Sorcerer is charisma based class, so pick some background with skills in some charisma attributes. For example, like guild artisan with persuasion will work. And this will give you ability to pick skills in deception, intimidation and persuasion with +5, and it will help you in dialects and other checks like that. And that's our ability point distribution. We're going completely min-max on this character, and we're getting no points in strength, in intelligence and in wisdom, while at the same time getting 16 points in dexterity, 15 in constitution and 17 in charisma. So let's go. And while there's technically nothing special at early levels, we're just limited to 2 spell slots of level 1, with this stat distribution you will have 16 armor class already. However, if you decided to pick a human or half-elf with shield proficiency, you can always start the game with 18 armor class with this setup. As draw, we are not proficient with shield, so we're throwing shield away, but that's something to know about. And basically we casted magic armor on ourselves, that's why 10 base armor class plus 3 from mage armor plus 3 from dexterity works like magic. And let's go straight to the beach and start our adventure. We will definitely level up while we're exploring Lands of Faerun, and that's what Shadow Sorcerer will give us. At level 2 we can pick 1 spell, and there's 2 options how you can approach the game. You can pick something like Thunder Wave, which is really powerful if enemies come close, but what I like to do, I like pick some utility spells as sorcerer early on. Featherfall and Enhanced Sleep. If your party does not have someone with the spells, they help a ton to move around the world and explore. Always start with Featherfall, because Enhanced Sleep will give you nice sleep, but you may leap downwards and destroy yourself pretty easily. At the same time we unlocked Meta Magic, and for Meta Magic we're going with Twin Spell and Extended Spell. On level 3 as sorcerer we're getting more spell slots, more Meta Magic points, sorcery points, and also Eyes of Dark. So now we can create darkness, and coolest part, we can create it with level 2 spell slot or with our sorcery points. So whatever resource you're not using a lot, maybe you're not using lots of spell slots and you're using lots of sorcery points, you can use them in either way. Also we unlock spells from level 2. And we're going into Fire Sorcerer Road today, so Scorching Ray is our pick. At the same time we're going with new Meta Magic, and it will be Quickened Spell, which will give us ability to to cast meta magic and cast our spells as bonus action, which is really good, so we can do 2 spells in 1 turn. At the same time, as a race, as draw, we will get Fairy Fire. Once per long rest, we will be able to cast it and get advantage on attack rolls. This combines very good with Scorching Ray, because Scorching Ray is 3 separate attack rolls, so we will have a lot more chances to hit with the Scorching Ray. And at level 4, we unlock Feat. This feat will be extremely simple and straightforward. We go just for ability improvement, getting +1 into Charisma, +1 into Constitution. Charisma will affect how often we hit with our spells, basically our hit chance, and Constitution will give us more health and also more chances to keep our concentration on spells whenever we get hit. We get access to 1 more cantrip, and for cantrips from now on just pick whatever you like. Maybe you want some freeze magic in your arsenal, maybe you want light for your party, it doesn't matter. And we can pick another spell. So the spell for me will be Enhance Leap. We don't need to overcomplicate things with this type of sorcerer, we just need some utility for best position. And what do I mean by best positioning? For example, this battlefield over here. We got 3 enemies and they are together. If we come close and we're going from this side, we're basically in narrow point and we're forced to fight versus 2 fighters who is standing in our way and basically watching at us. Mage will be protected and will fire some devastating magic and it will be a hard fight. But with our utility spells, instead of coming forward, we can go from other way, check this window basically. And because utility spells outside of the combat will be ritual spells, and ritual spells is spells that require you no spell slot, we can cast this jump and feather fall, jump through the window basically like that, and sneakily ambush them from behind and at the same time from the high ground, destroying all of them in 1 single turn, hiding behind the rocks, and this guy will be surprised, he won't be even able to find us and hit us. With this turn advantage, we can even use our signature spell Darkness, and while we can see in the darkness, let's note how it works. Basically you will see a little bit farther away in dungeons when it's dark, but in this magical darkness we won't be able to see anything. So we got kinda 2 options. We can hide into darkness. Best way to utilize it is to actually use hide button on the next turn, go into darkness, end your turn, he will go, try to find you, and where did you go? Of course he can't find us and this will end combat. After ending combat we can easily ambush this bro while he has turned his back on us, and this will completely delete him. He is surprised, he don't know what to do. We get turn advantage, easy magic missile, destroying him, and if he's not destroyed we just going back on next turn, because he will lose his first turn while he is surprised, he will try to find us, and that's basically how you can solo as this type of character. Be sneaky, be smart, and melt your enemies. And don't forget to use Fairy Fire in like hard fights. It gives you this big radius, you will cast it on your enemies, and when they affect by Fairy Fire, chance to hit will be insane, even at these low levels. So it's extremely easy to melt enemies. You will also have access to sorcery points. At this point of the game, I won't recommend you using loads of sorcery points on your spells, because it costs a lot, but how you can utilize them smartly is to create spell slots from sorcery points. So you will get 4 sorcery points and you can create 2 spell slots of level 1. Again, our most powerful thing right now is our magic missile most of the time, so being able to cast it 6 times is actually a lot, but we can make it even more powerful, and it won't take you so long. When you arrive to the Rising Road and Burning House, all you need to do is to help these people save their friends. So burn the doors, go inside, destroy broken door on the 2nd floor, and save Commander Flory. You can even jump through the window if you wish to with our utility spells. And she will grant you with a prize. The prize you're looking for is Spell Sparkler, and that's just insanely overpowered quarter stuff, or better magic stuff. It works extremely simple. When you deal damage with a spell or cantrip, you gain lightning charges. Lightning charges will give you +1 to attack rolls, therefore you will hit more often, but also will deal extra lightning damage. And at 5 charges it will discharge with a lot more lightning damage. Magic Missile is magic damage. and it shoots multiple missiles at the same time. And that's extremely useful, because all 3 projectiles will generate loads of extra power and loads of extra lightning damage. What can be even more better, that you can upcast your magic missiles for additional missiles and generate even more power, and this melts enemies a lot faster. This also works on Scorching Ray, because it's also magical damage, so it's pretty easy to defeat enemies with Scorching Ray. What can be even better is the time when you go straight to the Underdark, to Mushroom Village, basically to this Myconid colony. Don't worry, they're pretty friendly, but what you're looking for is this trader, Blurk. He is on the right side, and he sells this Psychic Spark amulet. Definitely just go and buy it. Now you not only will get 1 magic missile for free every long rest, and it will be upcasted magic missile, because Psychic Spark will add additional dart whenever you cast magic missile. So now magic missile level 1 will be considered level 2, and level 2 kinda level 3, and so on. It's extremely powerful setup for early game sorcerer, and it's time to level up more, to fully unlock our shadow magic potential, because as of right now, technically we don't have a lot of extra powers from shadow magic sorcerer. We are basic sorcerer, but it will change very soon. So, as I told you, we're going for fire spell style. Therefore, we're getting fireball in our arsenal, and a sorcerer can replace spells. We get nothing to replace right now, but if you picked something wrong, you can actually do it every level. You can change stuff here and there. Maybe you don't need Featherfall or Enhanced Sleep right now, so you can change them. Coolest part, and that's the reason why we picked Draw. The Draw will get darkness once per long rest, but still, that's darkness for free, and we can use it in one combat pretty easily. In second combat we will use magic spell, and most of the time you want to have like 3 combats per day, per long rest, so that's a big one. Then we reach level 6, and that's where shadow magic begins. We unlock Hound of Omen. With sorcery points we can summon permanent Hound, and he will find on our side. How to use him I will show just in a second. And for our spells, just ignore any concentration spells. While haste is really powerful on sorcerers, on this type of sorcerer we don't want it. We want be insidious darkness sorcerer basically. So we need the right positioning, as I told you most of the time. Misty Step is what we are looking for. We want to pick best position in the fight and then fight. At level 7 we get access to level 4 spells. They're really powerful, like Wall of Fire, powerful spell, but it's concentration spell, and that's what we don't want to have. Ice Storm is really nice to have some like cold magic in your arsenal, but what I really like and suggest you to do at this point is to pick Contour Spell. It's reaction spell, and it will help a lot whenever someone tries to launch big and powerful power like fireball at you, at your party. You just Contour Spell him and he won't cast his fireball most of the time. At level 8 you will unlock Feat, and we will just go for straight Charisma +2 to maximize our chances to hit. And there's 2 options. You can go for Hold Person or for Daylight. Actually, Daylight is not needed right now. It will be needed for you in Act 3 when you will be around level 10, around level 11. But Hold Person sometimes can help. While it's concentration spell, so we can't use Darkness and Hold Person at the same time, still it's pretty useful in some scenarios against humanoid opponents where you want to hold them. Same goes for level 9, where we unlock Hold Monster. Just for specific scenarios we want to have the spell in our arsenal. And it will be very useful for you when you reach Act 2. While it feels pretty basic right now, actually we will become completely broken right from the Act 2. First of all, we can go straight to Moonrise Towers and speak with the trader Lantarf. He always will sell you Potion of Angelic Reprieve. That's what you want to have. You want to steal it or have it in other ways, maybe just by buying it from him. If you didn't know, every time you level up, and that's what we're doing right now, at level 10, basically again pick any spell you like. I recommend having Daylight when you're going straight to Act Daylight. When you reach in Act 3, it will help you. But basically after you spending your levels, shop will refresh and you can buy more Potions of Angelic Reprieve. Why they are so good? So let me show you. Now you can create sorcery points from your spell slots of level 1 and level 2. It will take some time, but that's basically how you do this stuff. After spending all spell slots of level 1 and 2, you just use this potion and lotion. Taken up for 2 turns, wake up and your spell slots are back. Now you can create spell slots from your sorcery points, so you will have more spell slots of level 1 and of course of level 2. You can create up to like 1 million spell slots this way and have basically unlimited magic. You can create 1 million sorcery points and then create spell slots of level 5 and just use only upcasted spells from now on. But of course it's a little bit tedious and boring. We need to find a way how to become broken and powerful without these cheesy exploits, and I got a way to do it again right from the start of Act 2. Where you want to go? You want to find Mausoleum, basically. It will be House of Healing, double oak door over here, and right behind it there's House of Healing Morgue. You go inside, open the big doors, and you want to actually cross the room and go to straight to other side. There's different ways how you can unlock this door, but you want to go inside and unlock this chest in the corner. There will be ever sight ring. So this ring will completely fix everything our build is lacking right now. We cannot be blinded, and that's exactly what we are looking for at this point. Since darkness is a magical darkness, but the magical effect is you're being blinded. Right now, when you're immune to blinding, you can basically stand in the darkness and you can shoot through it, you can shoot outside of it, and while standing in the darkness, if you're playing on tactician or lower, enemies even can't hit you when they don't have this magical darkness vision. Don't forget we got meta magic. So now we can use 1 sorcery points, and don't forget they are completely free with angelic repetitive potions to extend duration of our spell. So we can make darkness last for 20 turns. 20 turns of darkness is technically 2 minutes in real time, and by standing inside of this area where you can shoot outside, enemies won't be able to see you, and you can play even this game in real time without turn-based mode. On honor mode, of course, they will fight you back, but still by standing in darkness you will have advantage on hits, they will have disadvantage, and that's the magic of our awesome combination right now. But we can make it even more broken. I won't spoil you too much, but what I'm looking for is this place in Last Light Inn. To give you a little hint, just look in the cow. Yeah, this cow exactly. It will have Head of Fire equity on it, and that's the final piece of our build. Other pieces of equipment that you can get, basically any mage equipment will work. What you're looking for is spell save DC, and actually Head of Fire equity will give us a lot of it. Whenever you deal fire damage, you gain arcane equity for 2 turns, and this will give us +1 to attack rolls and at the same time difficulty class. It can be maxed out at 10, so let's summon Mastiff and see how broken this sorcerer in a battle. Basically that's how it works. You just need to deal some fire damage, and we're gaining this arcane equity for increased and more powerful attack rolls. And now we can easily create darkness so enemies is blinded, while we're not blinded by the way, and can destroy them in 1 single hit with a lot of extra damage. Coolest part, you can do it basically on the same turn, because you can cast darkness with your action and spell slot, or just action as the draw, and then you can use your sorcery points to cast spell with bonus action. In the darkness we already got advantage to hit, but at the same time by getting arcane equity, our chances to hit will raise even higher. So without darkness we will have 95% chance to hit. Basically if we roll 1 we will miss, but by standing in the darkness we always will have advantage, therefore we will have 99% chance to hit with our spells. At this point even basic cantrip will just melt enemies, because it can do up to 30 damage. And funniest part, again, on upcoming turns you can abuse ability to use quicken spell and cast spells with your bonus action, and then with action, but making sure we're not in enemy sight range, and by hiding and going inside of the darkness, as I told you, we can even end the combat. They dash, they try to find us, they won't be able to do, we are on other side of the darkness, and we are basically invincible. But what about our Mastiff? Well, technically he don't have dark vision, he is magical person, and he always will have this advantage to attack in the darkness, so he always will have more chances to hit, and that's a big one, because most animals won't have nice chance to hit when you get into the late game against more powerful enemies. However, with advantage, this Mastiff can be a deadly creature. First of all, he got Umbral Tangle. That's just necrotic damage, but it can inflict shadow cursed winds upon your enemies. Entity won't be able to move and will take 1d4 necrotic damage in upcoming turns. But what is the most coolest part about this awesome Mastiff is our Ominous Bite, of course. It's 3d6 piercing damage, but also we can place an omen for 1 turn. So let's do it. He bites and he randomly applies some omen of cold right now on this person, and that's the only reason to actually have access to different magic spells, and that's why basically we're getting cantrips like cold spell cantrip. So omens can be different types. It can be acid, cold, fire, lightning, poison or thunder. Here's the deal. Whenever this entity, basically this Harper Tumeriel, will take cold damage, we will regain sorcery points. So technically with the Hound you don't even need these cheesy tactics and unlimited points. You can actually sustain points by yourself by playing smartly and utilizing yourself and your Hound. Counterspelling your enemies, your build is almost ready. But that's the powers we unlock as Shadowmagic Sorcerer at level 11, and they're insanely cool and broken. So we got Shadow Walk over here. We can teleport into the shadows, and the next spell we cast will benefit from distant spell without costing any sorcery points. That's the big one, and that's actually two of the insanely powerful bonuses in one single action. For spells at level 11, I just recommend keeping Globe of Invulnerability for yourself for some sticky situations, you know, some slimy ones. And at the last level, just pick some type of magic that you can cast and destroy your enemies with, like Chain of Lightning, for example. Towards endgame, again, based on the build, I recommend you to change your spells and have something in your arsenal from lightning, from cold and from thunder sources, so we are able to deal different types of damage and replenish our sorcery points. For last ability, I would go with Warcaster. So Warcaster will give us ability to keep concentration, because we will have advantage on concentration saving throws. We will roll 2 dice instead of 1, and as sorcerer we already got proficiency in Constitution saving throws, so it's almost impossible to break our concentration on dark. So how does it look like? From now on, if you got darkness for 20 turns, for example, that you cast with sorcery points, you can shadow walk with bonus action inside this darkness every time. Now all your spells will benefit from distant spells. This means you will have 50% more spell range. And now basically you got sniper rifle in your hands. Just look at this range. She basically needs 2 dashes to reach us, and that's insane. And another cool way you can utilize your awesome Hound, whenever he's attacked by damage that deals no radiant damage, you can actually splinter into 2 Hounds and obliterate your enemies even faster. This is extremely tricky and hard to beat class, because you always can be in the shadows, attack with magic missiles through the wall screen or even like 2-3 screens at the same time, and basically have a lot of fun in Baldurs Gate 3. So I hope you enjoyed the build and you will have blast playing it in Baldurs Gate 3. Watch other cool videos on the screen right now and see you there.